This is what I created inside of Mudbox. If you don't know who that is, well, it's me. And I'll just show you a quick reference image. And let's go ahead and open up that stencil. Oh, the images aren't there, so you just have to take my word for it. That's me. Okay. So what the first step we need to do is to take this 3D model and send it to Maya. So I'll go ahead and select it. Where are you at? There we go. Go to File, Send to Maya, and Send as New Scene. And you can see a little taskbar at the bottom. And now we are looking at this image. Well, it's a character. It's myself. And first thing that we need to do is go into our front view, and I'm going to turn off my grid. And first step is to find the center line, like the origin, right down the middle. And I can do that simply by clicking on the wireframe unshaded. Click up here to topology. What we're trying to do is select one side of the face and let it mirror the other. So I'll go to edge mode, right mouse click and hold edge. I'll click on that edge. And now when we go to Object X, you can see that the faces are being mirrored. Okay. Next step is to make this object live. So we'll click here, and you can see it's a different color, right? This really like money green. We'll turn the wireframe unshaded off, and I'll click right here on our modeling toolkit, and then I'll dock it right here. There we go. We want to click on Quad Draw. Okay, so first step that we want to do is to draw about 8 polygons around the face. So let's start up here, the eyebrow ridge, and we'll click another dot right there. So we have 1, 2, and I'll click here and then go straight down. And then we'll go from the corner of the eye outward, the inner part of the eye outward, and then I'll create 2 more points. So I'm just holding left mouse click, and I'm trying to make sure that the edges, well, you'll see the edges here pretty soon, that everything is symmetrical. So I'll hold shift to create that shape. And there we go. All right, nice polygon eye. Okay, so I can move it there. Now I want to hold control to create what you would consider the eyelid. All right, perfect. Now we want to go ahead and create the circular edge loop around the top of the nose, just side of the face, and then around the mouth. So if I left mouse click and drag right to the center of our character, and then another one right in the middle, I'll bring it down just a little bit lower, let's say about here, and then let's create another point directly underneath here. So I have 3 dots. When I hold shift, drag it around, and that's a shape that we want to get. All right. Now I'm going to take this point and just bring it down just a little bit further, about right here, close to the nose, and go ahead and move that there. Just kind of angle it to the right, a little bit outside of the nose. And then I'll move this guy over a little bit more as well. And there we go. Next shape, it's going to be a single dot right here. And then I'll hold Shift, create that. The next shape is going to be parallel to the edge of the mouth. And then I'll click one more here, hold Shift, create that shape. And then right down the center, create two more. And then 1, 2, I'll hold Shift. So what I'm trying to do is create a nice pattern. And if I go to the, let's turn off the live. And then I'll just Control 1, oops, Control 1 to isolate this shape. Let me click on my head, put this on a layer, and then just turn it off. Just kind of want to show you guys a shape that we're looking for. So straight down the center of the face, we have our edge that we just created. And then you can see from this shape, it's going to flow outward like that. That shape will flow this way. And then another one right across the lips. So everything wants to work in a circular pattern. Okay, so I'll go ahead and delete those. Turn back that layer. I'll turn this layer, keep it on, turn that off, go back to our modeling toolkit, click on our character's head, go live, click on the geometry here, quad draw, and then we can begin working on the next step, which is the lips, which are the lips. Okay, so we'll go point right down the center here. Right there, I'll hold Shift. And then we'll go right here, I'll hold Shift. So the reason why I'm making this really low poly is because I can always add more detail later to the model. Hold Shift. 1, 2. Right down the center. Now I'm going to give a shout out to Danny, what's his name? Danny, he's a YouTuber, really great artist. He has a video called Retopolizing Like a Boss. And this technique is actually something I learned from him. Okay, so we have that shape there. And the next thing that we want to do is add, and we can hold tab, we're going to add a edge ring around the mouth like this. Okay, so we'll do this, drag it up, kind of get that to go here. If you hold, and let's bring this guy over like that. Connect it here. And then do that. Okay, so we have the lips like that, and we go to the side of the character's head. Zoom out just a little bit. And we're going to create the same number of polygons, 8. So 1, 2, and then we'll go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we'll double that. So add it right there in the corners at an angle. I'll hold Shift. Okay, so that's pretty much a shape that we want to create. Again, we're doing this in really low poly because it's easier to manipulate vertices and then we can always add more subdivisions later to our character. All right, that's looking pretty good. And we're going to start to add a little bit more geometry. So I'll add 2 more points here. There's a third one, hold shift, 1, 2. All right, and then this is going to go around. So I click 1, 2, hold shift. And not sure if you can see, but this edge is going to align with that. You see? This edge to here. So we can hold shift to create that shape. Let's go to our front view. And I'll add that, hold shift. Hold shift, and then 1 right down the center. All right, let's try to get that to look like a nice angle, kind of like a crown. It looks like a crown. Okay. Next step, hold shift. Create that. We'll click 1 right in the center. Hold shift. 1 more in the center. Shift. And there we go. Now we'll move on to the side of the jaw. And we'll create 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold shift. All right. We'll click 2 more. Shift. And again, you can see how these guys align perfectly here. I'll hold shift to do that. I'll click 1 point here, hold shift. Like this. Hold shift to create that. Hold shift to, let's see. Let's hold control to create 1 more point there. It kind of moves over. I'll hold shift. And then there we go. So it's actually a quad, which means 4-sided object, 4-sided geometry. Okay. Let's go to our front view. Let's click here, 1 more, hold shift. And let's see. I'm actually going to get rid of this one right now. And then I'll connect that there. So to get rid of a face, you just hold Control, Shift, and click like that. Okay. So a triangle, we'll get rid of that little guy. Let's go back to our side view. And instead of adding this one here, I'll hold Control to get rid of that face. We'll add this one here. I'll hold Control Shift to get rid of that. Control Shift to get rid of that edge. And then I'll hold Shift to create that. Okay. And then I'll take this vertex point and try to get this really nice smooth line. Okay. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Looks pretty good. Okay. Now the next step that we want to do is start to work on the head. Right? So let's go ahead and say we move these guys a little bit higher. So I'm just clicking on the edge. And I'll go to the front view. I'll move this up a little bit more. I'll go back to, let's actually go into our perspective. So add 1 point here, hold shift. Another point here, hold shift. One more, hold shift. And there we go. All right, super low poly. We'll add 1 here, hold shift. 1 right there, hold shift. Try to get that to be straight. 1 more in the middle. And that's what I'm talking about. Super low poly human head. And again, the reason why we're doing this is so that we can create more detail in our character later. All right. We'll add a point right here. I'll hold shift. Add 1 more point here, hold shift. And we'll create these guys. 1 more. Okay. Now if we hold shift, you can actually soften some of these edges. Right, you actually relax them is what it's the proper term. You actually relax them. Kind of get some right there, top of the head. Okay. And now the next step is to simply start to bring it down. So I'll click 1 right in the middle, hold, actually 2. 1 more there. 1 more there. And then let's create another row right here. Hold shift. Try to get these to follow the same angle. And I'll hold shift, left mouse click and drag to get it to do that. Okay. And then on the side of the neck, we're simply going to click here, here, come straight down. And then I'll hold shift. We do that. 1 more here. I'll hold shift to soften those edges. And then let's bring it down. Right there in the middle. And then we'll just bring this down 1 more time. So if you want to, you actually can hold tab and drag it down like this. And bring it right there, bring it there. And let's do this. Okay. All right. Now we just need to start working on the neck area. And what I'm going to do is click right here, hold shift, click right here, hold shift. So we've got like this 5-sided, like a star shape. And then let's click here, go down, click here, go down, and actually let's delete that one by holding shift and try to get that to be aligned with this. And let's see, start working underneath the jaw. Okay. So we'll click here, hold shift, click here, hold shift, and then one more here, one more right there, drag it around, and then 1, 2, hold shift, hold shift, and then add one right down the center. So this actually is going to help us to have a low amount of polygons going straight through the neck. Okay. Let's see what's next. Okay. Kind of get these guys to align. Look pretty nice. And then we can start to just bring them straight down. All right, so let's do this. Hold shift. Add one there. Hold shift, bring that down. Let's bring this guy over here, like that. Hold shift, connect that. And then let's go here, hold shift. Two more. One more right there. And we'll add one right down the center. Okay. So that's it around there. And the next step, we want to start to connect these guys. 1, 2. Let's look right there. Okay. So we'll go ahead and keep moving forward and add a few more edge loops through the geometry. Hold control, click one right there. We'll add another here. We'll hold control to create one more right there. One right through that part of the geometry, here and here. We'll add one there. Add one right here. Let's add another through the lip. And then one right there. We'll add one here on both sides and then coming straight up like that. Okay. So on the side of the head, we actually want to add another here, another one right down the center. Let's add, let's see, let's add one right here, in the back, right there, and then one right there. And let's add one more here. So now what we can do is hold shift to relax these edges, like so. Almost there. And kind of move this back. Hold shift. Go up to there. And then, let's see, top of the head as well. Let's undo that. Bring these guys closer to the front. And then I'll hold control. So again, we're just trying to bring a lot of these edges closer so that there's not a lot of flat spots. So as you can see, I'm just going left and right. And you can go up and down as well. Okay, so this is probably a good place to stop, and then in the next tutorial we'll just pick up where we left off, start to do the nose and go from there.